What is up, interwebnet people? Gutsy cosplayer coming at you from my very messy workshop. Recently I've been working on a project. It is Professor Ozpin from RWBY, and it is his weapon, the long memory, aka the very long cane that he walks around with. So I'm just going to go through a few things that you're going to need and roughly how to get it built. This isn't a full tutorial or anything like that, because I'm going to do the painting section in another video in maybe a month's time. So this is where I'm at the moment here. Now this was made out of a monopod, basically like an extendable selfie stick but with a bit more robust. So these are the things that you're going to need. You're going to need the following: 1mm EVA foam, 3mm EVA foam, and 5mm EVA foam. You're also going to need, obviously, the monopod itself. You're also going to need the polystyrene ball, which is on the end just there. You're also going to need a card insert from a duct tape roll, which is this thing. You're also going to need various glues, i.e. your contact adhesive. I'm using all-purpose impact. My glue gun from Parkside, also from the video, just a little glue gun that I did not long ago, and ironically some double-sided sticky tape, and obviously various tools such as knives, sharpeners, etc., and maybe a bit of sandpaper. Anyway, so what you do is you get your monopod, and you can see here mine is an extendable one. It extends out to around about 2.5 feet, which is pretty good. It did have a thing on the end to attach your phone to, but I've just took that off with a hacksaw. I left a little bit exposed just so I can get enough grip on it to extend it out. Okay, so what you do first, underneath here is the foam grip. Now that foam grip, it will take glue. It'll take the contact adhesive or the hot glue, your preference. And what you do is you take your 3mm foam, heat that up with your heat gun, if you have a heat gun. If you don't, I would definitely invest in one, because a hairdryer will not cut it. You heat that up, roll it around until it's a nice tight tube shape, and then what you do, you wrap it round and use your adhesive to stick it to the handle. Now when I did mine, it took me about 3 or 4 attempts to get this right, but you can do it. What I did is I put some double-sided sticky tape onto the EVA foam. Then I stuck that to the monopod. It did leave me with a very small seam, which I patched up with some Polypop's craft clay. There are plenty of videos out there on YouTube to tell you how to use that. Basically, you just wet the area, wet your thumb, put a little bit of it into the seam and just spread it out, and then leave it to dry. Once it's dried, you sand it off and it should be absolutely fine. The next step was a little bit of craft foam to make a little collar here. I've got to put another one on the end just there, but it's absolutely fine. Then what I did is I put the polystyrene ball on the end and then wrapped that with some more EVA foam, and then I made the central section. I'm not sure what this is called, but I'll just call it like the clockwork section, because there will be some cogs here, but they haven't arrived in the post just yet. What we do with that, we take the inside of a duct tape roll, the cardboard piece, you cut a hole in the front, a hole in the back on opposite sides, using whatever tools you have to make a hole with. I used my Dremel with a bladed knife on the end of it, like a cutting disc. I used that to cut out the rough shape, and then I just sanded it from there. I put that in, and then what I did then is I put some EVA foam on both sides, so this side and this side. This side you'll see is slightly domed because I used my heat gun and pushed it out to give it a slight shape, which is fine. And then I cut a hole in the top here to put the handle slash trigger on the top. Now that is just a piece of EVA foam, a 5mm and a 1mm piece, no problem at all there. Now the hard part of this was getting the pattern on the handle. Now, obviously you can see a seam here. I used the exact same technique to put the 1mm foam as I did the 3mm foam. I heated it up, I rolled it round and stuck it on with double-sided tape. It sticks on absolutely fine as long as you're not massively rough with it. Now what I did to get the pattern on is I printed out the pattern, which is here. Now you can search for this pattern, basically go onto Google, type in Ozpin cane pattern, and you can print it out. The measurements I got was a length of 14 centimeters, right, and all the way around was just over 12. And then what I did is I put that paper onto some 1mm foam, and then I used this tool. Now this tool is a seam ripper that tailors use. Now obviously I had a spare one from when I did a previous project, so I used this, punched loads and loads of holes around the pattern just to get the holes onto the foam, and then when I went over it on the foam with a dull knife, I didn't want to cut it, I went over with a dull knife to get the pattern, and there you can see the pattern here because I've gone over it with a pen just so it shows up on video. Now that is where I'm at the moment. Like I said, the cogs will come, and I'll put those on last after the paint job. Excuse me, I'll put those on last. But the paint job, just in a basic terms, is going to be 2 coats of Mod Podge over the entire thing, and then it's going to be a base coat primer. Now, I'm not sure what colour I'm going to do yet. Probably a grey, because obviously this is a grey project. It's going to be a grey cane, except for this bit, which I'm going to cover up. On top of that, I'm then going to give it a slight metallic finish, so I'm going to use a pewter spray paint that I found, and then I'm going to paint the end on here a faded dark blue to light blue, just to make it look a little bit glowy. But that's basically it. Just to let you know that this thing does extend out to 2.5 feet. I'm going to show you. So there's one section there, a second section, and a third section. So it does extend out quite far. I mean, my table is about 2.5 foot in length, and it fits on there absolutely fine. But yeah, that's my cane as it is at the moment. I'm genuinely liking this project. I've got other bits and pieces I want to do with this. Like I said, the paint job's still got to come, and the rest of the cosplay will come together in the near future. So yeah, that is the current progress of my Ozpin cane, aka the long memory. And I do hope you take some of my advice, but like I said, there are other videos out there to go and watch, so this isn't the only tutorial on how to build one, and there are plenty of ways to actually build this thing in your own way. But yeah, this is pretty good. So thanks a lot for watching. I do hope you come and see the video when it's finished and when I've done the paint job, and hopefully I'll see you there. So toodles!